Hey everyone, so for this video, I'm going to be covering how to utilize Discord access to heat maps. So this will be for the lowest tier, so everyone who doesn't have access to the website, and also for anyone that is in Owls or the Bakery, some of our partner servers that get heat maps 1 or 2 days a week. These are also going to be the same bots that they use. So it's going to cover how I go through them, how I'd recommend using them, and how you can use it to view the same data that we can use on the website. Minus, there's a couple features that you can't, but those the website access and tutorial I covered in a separate video, so that can be referenced. It's also in this playlist for anyone who's curious there. So for anyone who joined and only has access to the maps, what you're going to notice, you're going to have this Heatseeker Pro section. In this Heatseeker Pro section, the first five um, channels are going to be essentially just raw feeds of the different indexes, as well as VIX. So you're going to have SPX, SPY, QQQ. Essentially, what's going on in these channels is you're getting a message that will just auto send every 15 seconds with an updated refresh of the map at the time. Um, the map's actually refreshed more frequently, but Discord limits it to 15 seconds. It has a rate limit. So that is the quickest we are able to get that output for y'all. So you have SPX, SPY, QQQ. One other big clarification is these are all gamma maps, all GEX maps. So you can either check that in the header here, or once you open up the image, you'll see down here in the bottom left that it says GEX, right? So all of these first five channels are GEX based. So you have IWM as well, and you have the VIX. So you have all of these different channels. Now, so this is quite straightforward. Obviously, just make sure you're scrolling down, checking the most recent one whenever you open up one of these channels and want to pull one of the maps. The other thing I'll say is if you're trading mostly indexes, you're going to be looking at SPY, SPX, and QQQ for the most part, and possibly IWM and VIX as well. This can get very tedious to remember what all the node volumes were. So like, what were all the values? How have the levels moved around? So a lot of times what I recommend, like a quick tip I'll give is either open up like a PowerPoint or maybe have like an AI open where you're essentially what I do is just every 15, 30 minutes or whatever interval you can do it is just come in here, copy this image and paste it over to a PowerPoint, for example, right? And then, if you paste the SPX, SPY, and QQQ, you just grab each map, paste them all over. Essentially, what you have is you'll be able to say, okay, if I'm doing this every 30 minutes, you're able to say, let me go check what these nodes were like an hour ago. And you'll be able to quickly reference how some of the volumes have shifted, how have they changed, etc., right? So you kind of can build your own Trinity mode in a sense within a PowerPoint, within a Word doc, within AI as well. I'm sure you can just spit all the images in and then tell you, prompt it to give you what the maps were at a specific time. And obviously, it's a bit tedious, but I think spending that extra minute to do this is definitely worth it. So you can see some of the progression in the nodes, because one of the big features that's missing on the Discord access is you're not able to see the percent gain or percent loss of a specific node, right? Which is a pretty big feature on the website. Okay, now apart from that, that's all for the indexes. These are all auto-populated GEX maps. This Heatseeker bot is going to be the last very important spot that you're going to want to look at, because this is going to be where you can actually prompt, one, you can prompt one of the other 300 tickers that are available. But then two, this is essentially your replay mode for anyone who doesn't have the website, is you can use the replay within the bot. So first, to cover just how you're going to prompt. So like, let's say we wish to trade NVIDIA, right? What you're going to do is do slash, and then you can type in, you can either fully type in heat map, or even if you just type in HE and just press enter, that'll auto-populate heat map. Then you just type in whatever ticker you want. So, if you want NVIDIA, just go ahead, press enter. And what it's going to do is this is going to give you the current map for GEX and for VEX for NVIDIA, right? So obviously this is, market's not open, so this is not it's not updating right now. Once market starts, so this has been the same since yesterday 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern. once the market starts once market opens and these nodes start reshuffling. So if I go queue this at 10 a.m. and I put in the same, heat map NVIDIA, then you'll start to see some of the fluctuations and the differences, right? The other thing I'll say here is, oh, one quick reminder is anytime you're queuing SPX, make sure you put SPXW. Otherwise, it will not be able to pull. So if I come in here and pull SPX, it's not going to pull a heat map, right? So you're going to get this error. And this is also going to apply if you try to pull a ticker that is not on the heat maps, same thing will occur, right? But yeah, this is essentially how you can go pull any, if you want to go look at Delta, whatever ticker you're interested in, this is how you're going to come pull the maps for it. And then what I recommend is either copy the image or open the link, and then that'll open in a separate browser. So you can, any ticker that you think the map looks very good, it's good to just save a copy because if you're going to the thing with this thread is that anybody can come in here and prompt. So if you just prompt for a specific ticker and you want to come reference it later, you're going to have a swamp of messages to go through. So whatever map you think looks interesting or that you want to reference in the future or just, want to take a closer look at, I recommend opening it. Just click open as a link, and then it'll essentially open in your, Google Chrome or whatever web browser you're using, and then you'll have a saved image there. Or you can just copy an image over to a Word doc or a PowerPoint or something like that. Okay, now the last thing I'll cover in this video is how do we use the replay on this, right? So like if I want to check NVIDIA yesterday, what I do is I type NVIDIA. Instead of pressing enter now, I press tab. And when you press tab, you see you're going to have two options here. You're going to have type and date time. So type is going to tell us, essentially allow us to filter by gex or by vex. I actually recommend never filling this out. It's better to just put a date time, press enter, and then you're going to get both the gex and the vex, right? If you only need to use one, you only use one. But it's oftentimes good to look at both, especially for individual tickers. So there's no point spending the extra keystrokes getting to or setting up the type of map. So what's going to matter here is the date time. So again, you can either select it with your mouse or if you press up, after you tab, if you press up the up arrow and then press enter, you'll see date time box shows up. And now it gives you this format. So this is going to be pretty important is it's going to go opposite to most US calendar order, right? It's going to go year, month, date instead of month, date, year. So make sure you use year, month, date, and it's going to be using hours, minutes, seconds in Eastern time zone. And it is military clock or 24-hour clock, right? So if we want to look at NVIDIA yesterday, we're looking at 2026 March 26th space. And then if we want to come look at this at 1 p.m. Eastern time, we're looking at 13:00:00, right? So if you come here, type all of that out, press enter. Now we start seeing, what you'll see here is just spitting out, okay, it's confirming to us that we're at the correct timestamp. And now we're getting the gamma and the Vanna maps, so gex and vex, at that specific time and date, right? And the way to double check is down here at the bottom left, you'll notice, okay, 2026, March 26, 1 p.m., or well, 12:59:59, 1 p.m. basically, right? So that is essentially how you can use the replay on Discord. And that's how, if you want to back test, you can do so like this. Or if you want to just check, okay, I want to take a certain trade on a ticker for Friday. I want to see how this node grew or shrank throughout the week. This is how you're going to do so, right? You can prompt for, let's say you want to take a trade for today, which is a Friday. So you want to see how a node grew, your floor level, how it grew Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So this is how you'd be able to do that, right? You go to the replay and you say, okay, I'm going to check how this node, how the volume looked at different intervals over the week, over a specific day, etc. But this is a very, very useful tool, right? Whether you're back testing or whether you're just trades you did take, you're trying to analyze what went wrong or maybe what you could have improved. This is going to be a huge aid for you, right? For anyone who has website access, the replay tool within the website is a lot more straightforward to use. But for anyone who's Discord only, this is definitely going to be everything I've gone through in this video is going to be very, very important. So you can maximize your use of the tool and, do the best you can. And obviously, so you're able to be most productive with the tool and with your capital, right? Okay, hopefully this was helpful. And then if there's any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll make sure to get answered how to utilize pulling the heat maps. I'll have a separate video going over how to actually get set up with the tool in the first place, how to navigate the Discord, like what each channel's for. But I'll leave that for a separate video. Okay, thanks everyone.